Alright, I'm just going to do a quick recording about the chop bands. Alright, the chop bands are relatively new, and what they indicate is when the market is in chop. There are other things that indicate when it's in chop, like when it's inside the box here of the elbow, but the chop bands, generally when the red is inside the black, it's likely to be choppy. Now they work. The theory is the same on all markets, but they're more effective on markets with a little less volume. You can see in here when the bands are inside the black, the red are inside the black, it is choppy. When it breaks out of the inside like that, there's generally a decent move when it breaks out. One way or the other. There's generally a decent move. It could already be underway. You may have already had some other indication, like over here when the elbow broke. Right here would have been your short entry. They were already outside the band. Right over here. Well, right there, that didn't work out. But you see right in here in this long period right here, between 247 and long period. That's long for me. 1506. It was inside the bands right there, and it was all choppy in there. I think coupled with everything else, that will help to keep you out of trades that just don't have the highest probability, okay, or have a lower probability of hitting your target before it hits your stop. Okay, it doesn't mean that it's not going to move in the direction that you want it to move. It just means that the risk that we put on these trades, it may get taken out before the market moves in the direction that we expect it to move. The question, sometimes it just takes a little bit longer to get there. That's right, Bob. Can I talk about the values of the chop bands on the right side? Well, when it's on the right side, it usually means the market is trending. Okay, when it's on the proper side, it usually means it's trending. And when it starts to pull back and contract and move toward the middle, then it usually means the market is either changing direction or it's consolidating. We have other things in here that tell us the direction changes. The elbow here is telling us the direction change. Like right over here, they went inside here for a couple of bars, then they popped out here, and the elbow said go long right here. All right. Then they were outside. It trended pretty well. They were outside. This was actually a continuation trade right here with the bands on the outside. Then up here it pulled back down below the MA1. And in here we might have been thinking, maybe we're going to go long, but we didn't get our second close up above there. Okay. It dropped down here, and the bands were still outside. So they didn't go inside because there was no chop in between the direction change here. There was no chop. Alright, so they didn't go inside there. Then down here, this is the close down below that broke the elbow, so you need to close down below that. The bands are still outside, so we had a good opportunity to short there. Okay. Alright. That's pretty much all there is to the bands right now. One other thing I wanted to point out is that there are dots in between the bands, and when the dots start to paint right on top of each other, like they had in here, and all the bands start to pinch together, that indicates that the market is really coiling up and you're likely to have a big move following. Alright, so it broke out here on the upside. Okay, it broke down here, and this trade would have failed quickly. It would have failed. And when it reversed and went up, obviously this was a good move. 837.1 all the way up to 845. So that's a 3.5 point move in just a couple of minutes. And that's it. That's all there is to it. Alright, I gotta shut this recording off as quickly as possible.